Even a small amount of alcohol can impair your ability to drive safely. I personally know someone who has sadly passed in a drunk driving accident. Being a person who is connected to a fatal situation like this has morphed my mindset. I never thought it would happen to someone I knew until it did. As college students, we all are very near or at the age of 21 for drinking. Even at 21, our brains are still developing, and this can lead to decisions like drinking and driving. I am here to tell you that this can happen to you or anyone you know. No one should drink and drive because it causes impairments in the brain, which can lead to serious or fatal outcomes. Today, I am going to emphasize the consequences of drinking and driving. One should never drive under the influence of alcohol because it can result in legal consequences, employment and insurance issues, and an increased chance of car crashes that can lead to serious injuries or even death. The first thing I am going to talk about is the legal consequences associated with drinking and driving. Driving under the influence can result in many legal problems for an individual. Like any other criminal punishment, a DUI comes with an array of possible consequences based on state and offense. According to the Wisconsin government website, in its first offense, you will receive up to a $300 fine and face possibility of getting your license revoked for 6 to 8 months. The second offense, you will face the possibility of jail time. Many people are going to argue that this only happens to you if you get caught. It is not if you get caught, it is when you get caught. You do not want to risk the consequences. According to the American Addiction Centers, a DUI can lead to jail time, suspension or loss of license, fines, and court-ordered rehab. The American Addiction Centers explains that if someone is killed, the driver can lose voting rights, parental rights, financial aid, and passports. Based on what I have just explained, it is not worth it to drive under the influence. You will gain a large amount of legal baggage and lose important rights. I will next be speaking about the employment problems that arise from drinking and driving, along with legal consequences. You can also lose your job and specific employment rights. Most individuals don't realize that they can lose their job from getting a DUI. According to an article written by Law Offices of Randy Collins, most companies are not going to want an employee that has a DUI on his or her record. It looks bad for the company's name. Some companies and businesses also have policies that will not allow this kind of behavior from their employees. American Addiction Center states that if a DUI results in manslaughter, employees can deny you of employment in an entire field of work. This evidence shows that drinking and driving can really change your future. It can and will crush your dreams. The last consequence I will talk about is the increased risk of a serious or fatal car crash due to impaired brain functions. The worst consequence of drinking and driving is the possibility of infection, serious injuries, or death upon yourself or others. The effects of drinking can put not only you, but others, innocent drivers, in immense danger. According to the Alcohol Rehab Guide, consumption of alcohol will cause slow reaction time, lack of coordination, reduced concentration, decreased vision, and impaired judgment. All of these factors are unsafe driving and ultimately putting people in danger. According to alcohol research and health scholarly article written by a professor at the Boston University School of Public Health, 41% of traffic deaths and 9% of traffic injuries are alcohol related. As many as 44% of people killed in crashes involving drunk drivers are people other than the driver. Based on this data, we can see that a large majority of traffic deaths are because of alcohol. The same alcohol research and health article explains that drivers between the ages of 16 and 21 are far more likely to be involved in alcohol-related fatal crashes. They make up about 14% of the drivers in these crashes, but only make up 7% of the total population. Clearly, this shows that our age group accounts for a large amount of fatal car crashes. Instead of putting yourself and others at risk, ask a friend or family member who has not been drinking to give you a ride. It is not worth the risk of death. Overall, death and injury are extremely preventable in these situations. Fatalities would decrease greatly if an individual would just pick the safe route to not drink and drive. I am encouraging you to take all the safety precautions, and that way no one should drink and drive because it can result in serious or fatal outcomes. Drinking and driving can lead to legal consequences, employment problems, and an increased chance of being in a motor vehicle accident. Anytime you consume alcohol, remember this speech. Make the smart choice and do not operate a vehicle. You do not want to put yourself or anyone else in danger. Always ask yourself, is it worth the legal consequences? Is it worth the employment problems in the future? Is it worth your life? Thank you.